making rabbet and dado cuts. Today we're going to take a piece of stock scrap. We're actually going to make a rabbet and a dado in it. But you got to make a few adjustments to your table saw. You're going to have to remove the conventional blade, single kerf blade, and replace it with a dado blade, which means you also have to change out the throat plate, remove the pinch guard, and replace the cartridge, the single width cartridge, with a double width cartridge, which is a lot wider. This is the dado throat plate. And when you look in here, you can see that I've got the dado blade, and I'm using the 3-piece one for the size of the cut that I want to make. And I've also replaced and put the larger cartridge in that'll handle and accommodate for the dado blade. If you don't do this, the saw won't run. It has a sensor on it that can tell which cartridge is in pertaining to which blades. Now I've got to look at my plan. I have a rough drawing of the stock that shows the rabbet and the dado on this side, but I have a blown up enlargement view on this side, and you can see the rabbet's a 1/2 by 1/2 inch, and then the dado is a 1/2 inch wide, and you can look at the line that parallels across and makes it a 1/2 inch deep. So I've got to do a little math to do a setup on my saw. I've got a measurement here for the edge of the dado, but I don't have one for the rabbet. But I do know the total width of this piece of stock because I have it here. And then if I do a little math, it'll give me the distance from this one to that edge, and then I'll set my saw up on the fence. I'll take my tape measure, and I've got to spin the blade to find the blade, the tooth that's on the farthest side closest to the fence. Got to find that inside blade. I'm going to lay my tape measure across it. I'm going to bring it over to that measurement that I determined. You can see I have my fence. I have the tooth here, the blade, because you can see there's 3 blades, and then it's aligned with the measurement. And there's your 3 blades. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Now I've got to set the height. I can draw it on my stock if I wanted to, but in this case I'm going to take my tape measure, and I'm going to spin the blades to the one that's on the inside that's facing up, or actually any of them, and I'm going to take my tape measure and I'm going to look from the side to see if it aligns and adjust the height on my blade. And you want to spin your blades a little bit and check it on a couple teeth. Make sure you find the highest point, because there can be some slight differences in these blades. So I've got my width and I've got my height. I'm ready to run my stock. I'm going to take this piece of pre-cut stock, I'm going to lay it against the fence, and I'm going to run it down the top of that dado blade, and it's going to create my rabbet. Now here's my rabbet that I ran. If you look at the end view right here, you see my little half by half cut. Just like my plan. Now I've got to adjust for my dado. Make sure my blade is up. And I can see from this plan from 1.5 inches over from the edge that I did the rabbet, I'll come over and make the dado. So I've got to set my fence at 1.5 inches from the blade that's on the inside. Now I'm going to take my stock that's got the rabbet, and I've got to flip it the way so that it cuts on the same side. So my rabbet is here, and my dado is going to go there. Now when I look at the end of my stock, I have my rabbet. Now I have my dado. They should be pretty well parallel in length. And that one should be center of that board. Refer back to my plan. Now my finished product. This is cutting the rabbets and cutting dados.